Okay, everybody, let's take it from the top.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Hi-ho, everybody, and welcome back to D Plus Us, the show about all things Disney. I'm one of your hosts, Griffin Denell, Griffy D-Pad, and with me, as always, is the wonderful, the amazing Mr. Mitch George. How are you doing today?
I am very much ready to talk about the best Fantastic Four film that has released as of the day of recording, which is the day before the new Fantastic Four movie drops.
Except for the fact that it kind of dropped tonight. But
Okay, so yes, you could see it today, but technically the release date is tomorrow.
yeah, which is really dumb. And
Yeah, I
hate
know.
it.
I shouldn't be able to see a movie at 6 o'clock when it releases at midnight. I miss midnight showings, but also I don't miss midnight showings
Yeah, it's the thing
because I'm old.
I miss the vibe of midnight shows.
Yeah,
But I'm real happy that some of them are like 6 p.m. now, especially because
I am too, but I'm also that curmudgeon where like we got our Fantastic Four tickets and I'm like, I don't want to deal with kids in the summer being at the movies. So we got tickets at the 19 plus theater here.
Which is part
because
of
I'm
the
just
fun.
like,
And I will
No,
continue
it's
to fight
not.
you on that.
no, it is not, because the last time I didn't go to this freaking age restricted theater, I had people sitting right in front of me that were on their phone the entire goddamn
Okay.
film.
Same. And every single time it's happened for me, it's been adults.
While that may be true,
Adults are significantly worse in theaters than kids. And I stand by that.
I know. Well, the only exception to that is if you actually go to a kids movie.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I go see Disney movies at Disney. So,
Well, yeah, I mean, it's different. We can't all do that, Griffin.
I know. I just like to point it out every once in a while. Anyways, what's up, y'all? Thank you for hanging out and chilling with us. We were talking today about 2005's Fantastic Four in prep for going and seeing the brand new Fantastic Four First Steps very shortly. Of course, we'll have a review up for that very, very soon. But
We're going to
one of the things
probably
that
sit down and record that as soon as I get home from seeing my showing on Monday.
Yeah, probably.
Knowing
Obviously,
us.
we wanted to take a look back. And we didn't want to look back at that 2015 god-awful film. So let's talk about the one that that we got at least a little bit of nostalgia for.
I've got
Directed.
nostalgia. I've got nostalgia for both of these films, to be honest.
Yeah, same. I was watching these and thoroughly remembering and enjoying them significantly more than I realized, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, I have an interesting story about how I watched these movies.
We'll jump into everything, but I will jump into all the details, but a couple pieces of housekeeping first. First off, yes, Fantastic Four First Steps will be out soon. Go check that out. Go check out our short series where I talk about a bunch of Disney park stuff. The newest episode is all about the newest parade at Disney's Magic Kingdom, and it is awesome. Go check out the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@D+S. For now. I'll let that tease hang where it is. And now, let's hit you with the facts on this one. Directed by Tim Story, director of both Fantastic Four and Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer. He went on to do a bunch of stuff and is actually still directing things today. Most interesting, directed the 2021 Tom and Jerry movie.
That's definitely a
but if you
movie.
wanna go back to a fun movie, directed Taxi in 2004.
Was that the one with Jimmy Fallon and
Jimmy
Queen
Fallon and Queen
Latifah?
Latifah, yeah.
Okay.
Is it a good movie?
You know, you know what else what he will be directing is the upcoming feature film adaptation of the board game Monopoly, starring Kevin Hart.
Oh, that couldn't go poorly at all.
Why is this a thing? Right. Companies saw Barbie and were like, oh, we can make money off things.
Okay, I'll get back to Fantastic Four second. Did you see that they're making a Barbie sequel without Greta Gerwig and without Margot Robbie?
So they're making a direct-to-DVD sequel that's going to bomb in theaters. Got it.
This movie written by Mark Frost and Michael France. Produced by the god-awful piece of shit Avi Arad. Just want to say
Tim
fuck
Story
you.
also directed Shaft.
I'm gonna butcher some names now here because
Shaft.
we got Ian here. We got starring Jessica Alba, Chris Evans, Michael Keane, Chiklis, Michael Chiklis. How to screw up Michael Chiklis? Julian McMahon, Kerry Washington. Oh, Julian McMahon making a piece. Kerry Washington and Ian Griffith. I don't know if I'm saying that name right.
He is
Welsh.
very, very Scottish. So
Welsh.
Or Welsh.
Those are two very different things.
Yeah, well, as someone with Welsh heritage,
don't say that publicly.
Pronunciation. Yeah, you'll piss off a lot of people that really Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah,
Johan Griffith. Johan Griffith.
Gotcha. Music by John Ottman. John Ottman music behind Superman Returns, Jack the Giant Slayer, the X-Men movies. The X-Men movies, by the way, like all the way up to X-Men Apocalypse. He did not just stop at the originals. He kept going. And also did the music for The Gifted TV series. Like, that dude was dedicated.
Was a television show that I watched. I didn't watch all of it, but I watched
slightly
it.
better. He also did the music for Bohemian Rhapsody. Looking through some other stuff here. Yeah, that's really... Oh, he did the music for... No, never mind. Misread. Yeah, not really, honestly, all that much interesting as far as his music stuff goes. We have some cool ones on here, sometimes we just don't. A runtime of 106 minute, budget of somewhere between 87.5 and 100 million, with a box office of 333.5 million.
It was the best Marvel movie to release in the year 2000.
And then that's about where it ends. But Mitch,
do you want to know the other Marvel movie that released in 2005, Griffin?
Was it Hulk?
I'm going to let you guess, actually. Yeah, let's go with this. So, Hulk released in 2003. The Ang Lee Universal Pictures, Eric Bana Hulk. See how close we can get.
Okay. For reference, I was 7 years old.
I hate you. I was 13 when this movie came out.
I'm trying to remember if that's
Which is why I love it so much.
I'm trying to remember if that's too late for a Blade movie.
It is 1 year too late for a Blade movie. Blade Trinity released in 2004.
And now I'm just thinking back at the old ones. I'm thinking, okay, is it Daredevil or Elektra?
Is it?
I'm trying to remember what else came out around then, because it's not Ghost Rider.
Daredevil came out in 2003, Ghost Rider 2007, but you did get there. Elektra was the other Marvel film released in 2005.
My brain,
which I've never actually seen.
Oh, it's a god awful. Don't watch it.
I don't plan on watching it.
Actually, I might make you watch it, but
is it on? No, it's not.
I have no idea.
Tell me it's not.
I own this movie on DVD.
You need help.
Look, when I was a kid, I got a box set of like that era of superhero films, and that's the only reason I've seen that movie.
I've never seen it.
It came with all the other ones. It came with like the Fantastic Four movies, the Ghost Rider movies, Daredevil, Elektra, and then the 2000s Fantastic Four cartoon, which is fantastic. Pun intended.
No, it's actually quite good. I enjoyed that show a lot as a kid.
That was my introduction to She-Hulk. Anyways, beside the point, Fantastic Four 2005, Mitch. What was it like going back to this one?
Again, this is a comfort movie for me. In retrospect, it is not a good movie, but I have a fun time watching it. One, because like I said, this movie came out when I was 13. These are the formative years of Mitch discovering comics, comic characters, comic video games, comic films. Like I had going back to this list of Marvel movies that came out in the, early 2000s, like the pre-MCU, pre-Iron Man. You've got the Blade movies, the X-Men movies, Tobey's Spider-Man, Daredevil, Hulk, Punisher, Ghost Rider. I have a fond memory of all of these movies. A lot of them are very bad, but they've influenced my love of comic media, if that makes sense. Because growing up, we had comic book stores around. I had some comics. I actually have I would love to do an episode with you one day, Griffin, where I go through the box of my old comics that my mom brought to my house for me to give to my son. Because I think it'd be
we
really
should
fun
do
to
that.
it's just like random ass issues that were like given away on free comic book. Like that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we'll do that, and then I'll post some of my new stuff.
Yeah, that would be fun.
We can do that.
But like for me, I'm not a Marvel fan without these movies. I'm not a Marvel fan without this movie. I mean, I said I was 13 when this movie came out, so we can put that into context. But as gratuitous as it may be, and in hindsight, it is awful, and they should not have done this. Having a film that puts an actress like Jessica Alba in a situation where clothes for a 13-year-old boy was a good time back in 2003.
That scene in particular was like, oh man, I forgot they did this, and then it was, oh man, I forgot they did this twice. I totally forgot about the second time.
It's awful, and they shouldn't have done it.
Or the fact that they reference it again in the second movie.
Yeah, it was bad. But no, I mean, there's a lot of moments in this that I still chuckle at. Granted, I didn't chuckle as hard as watching the season 27 premiere of South Park that I watched earlier today. If anyone has not, go and watch the season premiere of South Park, please, before it gets, erased from the internet. No, like, I can recognize this is not a good movie, but I enjoy a lot about this movie, both from a nostalgia perspective and just from, it's got its moments. It's not a faithful adaptation in ways. Like, I don't love how they portray Doom. I don't like how Doom was written in these movies, but I love Julian McMahon playing Doom in these movies, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think, I have a very similar level of nostalgia for this movie, right? Where I'm like, this was it. And honestly, a lot of my connection to this game was the tie-in video game to it, which I want to talk about and we'll get to, because that game is insane, especially compared to this movie.
I'm trying to remember if I even played it. I probably played it on like a Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, it was that era where we had GBA versions that were entirely different. But yeah, it was a lot of it going back to it now has been like, oh, that's interesting. Like, it's very clear of like, oh, this is a early 2000s movie trope that we are putting into this. Like, Dr. Doom being the money that Reed needed to solve the problem. It's like, that's very much an early 2000s trope. And that is my biggest issue with this movie, is that they went with that, not the Doom is his own incredibly intelligent scientist. He isn't the face, he is the brains. And like, it seems like we'll be getting that hopefully here soon. But other than that, I am shocked by how great this movie does. This movie, I forgot that Alicia was in this movie.
Yeah,
that Ben has
Alicia's in this movie. You've got the acting debut of Maria Menounos, who is weird to see just pop up as like a fling for Johnny Storm. I love Johnny Storm in this movie. Like, again,
dude, that scene of him taking off for the first time and landing in the snow, and then Maria Menounos dropping the poles and joining him is iconic. Like, there's a reason
it's not very tasteful. Like, in hindsight, it's not very tasteful. But as a time box of like, this movie came out 20 years ago, it's going to do some things that probably wouldn't fly today. But at the time, it's a lot of fun.
As far as the innuendo scenes in this movie goes, I think that's the most tasteful of them. Mind you, that bar is set incredibly low.
I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah, I really, really liked going back to this one. It was really fun as a reminder of like where we've been. It's something we talked about a lot when we talked about Deadpool and Wolverine. Because that movie was kind of an ode to these old movies. Like, it was really it was fun. It was weird. It wasn't bogged down in the way the MCU is now with all of these other backstories you need to know about. It is a classic Fantastic Four origin story, which, frankly, I think the Fantastic Four's origin story is kind of boring, but...
The origin here is better than the origin that we saw in the 2015 film.
I think the origin we saw here is better than the comics.
I think it's
Because the origin of the Fantastic Four, of them get their powers, is just quick setup for the future of shit. And Marvel retconned it to be really dumb.
Yeah, which is I'm expecting them to entirely gloss over that in the new film. And Future Foundation is here; they're doing their thing.
We're up to the point with Reed and Sue have the kids. Like, we are well past that.
Well, and what I love about this movie, and to your point, and what's been said about the new film, is you can go into that new film not knowing anything that's happened in the last little while and have a good time. And I think we need more of these stories. Like, we got that with Shang-Chi, we got that with Black Panther, we got that with a few of the origin stories. But then you've got other origin stories like Miss Marvel that tie in too closely to what else is happening out there, and it becomes a kind of a jumbled mess.
See, I still disagree. And I think
Miss Marvel was not a good example, but I think the Marvels and introducing Miss Marvel to people outside of Disney Plus.
I mean, I think honestly, I think Marvel is looking for an issue where really it's just their style of storytelling hasn't necessarily worked, and they really haven't understood TV. I think Superman right now on the DC side is a fantastic example of just drop us in, tell us a story. You don't have to fill in the gaps, because those gaps are frankly not necessary for the story. They weren't necessary for the Marvels. Like, I do think that is a good point there, but I also think that they're necessary for you to care about side characters. And frankly, those side characters do just enough in that movie for you to already care about them, even regardless of that.
Yeah.
Like, I think going back to this, like, Fantastic Four here, like, there aren't side characters really. It is
Alicia.
I don't think Alicia's a side character. At least I don't think of her as well.
I think she's treated as such in the film. In the comics, I agree, she's not.
I think significant other of a main character is a separate category to that.
Category? Yeah.
But like, really, aside from Alicia, it's the main four, Doom, and Doom's assistant. Like, he's a side character. And then, other than that, it's not even like side characters, it's like tertiary extras and cameos.
Well,
it felt great seeing Stan Lee pop up in the movie.
I was gonna say, and this is the only time that Stan Lee has played a comic character in any of his films, right? Because Willie Lumpkin, the mailman, is a character in the comics, and he doesn't. I was kind of disappointed that the cameo in the sequel, I know we're not talking about the sequel, is just him pretending to be Stan Lee, or he's like just playing himself, which felt kind of weird. But like, him here as Willie Lumpkin, I really like to see it.
I like him in the cameo in the second one, him being Stan Lee, not because he's being Stan Lee, but because they don't believe that he is Stan Lee.
Well, yeah.
And yeah, I think this movie does a lot quaint that's really nice. While the Thing looks as good as he does to this day in this,
I feel really bad for Michael Chiklis knowing what he had to go through with makeup on this first film. Thankfully, they made the suit a little more, livable on the second, but I can understand why we got to the point with Jamie Bell? Don't Hurt Me for Fan Forstick.
Yeah, nailed it.
Did I get that right? Jamie Bell? And I'm going to butcher his name too. What's the name of the actor who's playing the new?
No, I want you to try this. I want you to try this.
Okay, hold on. I gotta put the name in. Hold on.
I'm not giving it.
Okay. Evan Moss Bachrach.
Yeah, nailed it.
Yeah. I've seen The Bear.
I still haven't watched it.
Granted, I've only seen the first 2 seasons and need to watch the rest of it, but still,
Season 3
I've
is
seen.
the best.
I've heard great things, and I need to watch it. I just watched these 3 movies instead.
Also, frankly, I love The Bear, but it's hard to watch.
It is a tough watch at times, yeah.
Like, it's one where I'm like, what if we reviewed this? And I'm like, no, I don't have the emotional.
I don't have the emotional bandwidth to review this.
I'm glad we're on the same page there.
Yeah, it was interesting too, because like I was texting you while I was watching these about how weird of a time this was, because I tore a ligament in my knee like the day before I binged all of these. Because I had nothing else to do because I was stuck on the couch and Karma was out of the house. So I'm just like, hey, Griffin, what are we watching next? We're like, oh, let's do this. Okay, I want to watch 3 movies today. And it was not a good time.
Well, what's funny is that this started as a bit when we were talking about Predator.
Dun, 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 dun.
Great episode. Go watch it. Like genuinely,
That trailer for the new Predator Battlegrounds or Hunting,
Badlands.
Whatever it is,
Badlands.
looks awesome.
I think that's the funny thing about this episode, and the reason that it's very laissez-faire 20 minutes in. This episode was a bit. This was a bit on the previous episode. But also, like, it's a good chance for us to go back to this one and hang out. There's some wild plot holes in this shit.
Well,
Doom
is the big.
How does the Thing get back to New York?
Wasn't Doom's like medical thing in
No.
New York State? Oh no, it was like it was in like Europe. Wasn't it like the Swiss Alps?
Yeah, they insinuate that they were near the Alps. Or I think Johnny says something like this side of the Alps.
Johnny does say something
But
about the Alps.
also, there are no mountains like that close. Like, you have to go up probably...
No, you'd basically like
gotta go to
maybe
Canada.
Vermont.
Like, for that level of snow that they're skiing on, like, that's...
Oh, you're in the Rockies at the at if you're lucky.
And, like, I know the bit there is for, like, Von Doom Industries and whatnot. Like, there's that kind of stuff, and then there's, like, the stuff that hasn't aged well that we talked about, like, the clothes scene.
Yeah. And, like,
also
I don't
the fact
like...
that, like, I have to bring it up every time it's talked about. The fact that Jessica Alba didn't know about that scene
Yeah, that's gross.
until she was signed on was real fucking weird. And also just kind of peak Avi Arad bullshit.
Yeah. And like I was saying earlier, I don't love this portrayal of Doom. Julian McMahon does a lot with not a lot. It did seem odd that he was part of them getting and they've done this twice now where Doom isn't a crew member. He's not a team member that goes awry or whatever. Like, Doom is Doom. And I do
honestly,
think
up until recently, the ideas of who Doom is and his power, like, I don't think Doom can be done correctly without giving him significantly more time than just a single movie.
that's understandable. It seemed weird of like, okay, yeah, he's got electromagnetic powers.
Well, 'cause,
okay.
like, and like, to their credit on this one, it is hard to translate Doom's powers. Doom has both that incredible intelligence and technological ability, and also magic. And magic is incredibly hard to explain in a tech-based movie or TV show, with the exception of Ironheart. Ironheart nailed that shit. They nailed it by saying, guess what? Tech person, probably not going to understand magic. And that sets it up.
I got
for
a
the
theory
person who
about
knows
Ironheart
both
that
is insane.
I got a theory about Ironheart that I want to talk to you about a bit after we record this. But that.
It seems like we might be getting that with Doom in the MCU, which is like, if they do that, that'll make me really excited. I don't think they're going to do Doom well.
I'm apprehensive about Doom, about this version of Doom in the MCU because it is Robert Downey Jr. To be perfectly honest, I think they're banking more on the name of the individual than they are actually like, this is the actual character. And I would hope
I'm not gonna,
RDJ doesn't sign on unless the character is well written and well thought out. But
I don't want to speak on anything like that until we've seen something.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that potentially after the First Steps, because you never.
Yeah,
know.
maybe. You never know.
First Steps gotta have a post-credit scene. Again, we have not seen this movie. We're not spoiling shit.
We've not.
We don't know what's in it.
We will know soon. My biggest problem with this movie, Doom aside, my biggest problem with this movie is Reed. Because, this is the biggest problem I've had with the 3 Fantastic Four films we've had to date, of Reed has been a nerd. Like, this nerdy guy who's at the head of the leader, whatever. But this isn't the Reed that I want to see. The Reed I want to see is the head of the Illuminati. The Reed I want to see gets corrupted and becomes the Maker. The Reed I want to see sacrifices the many just to save the few. Like,
I don't think
Reed is not a good character, and they keep trying to portray him as good. And Reed is just analytical. And they haven't done a great job of portraying that.
The
Maker
is analytical. The Ultimate Universe Fantastic Four, he is analytical. Reed is intelligent, but Reed ultimately, his greatest power is his empathy. that he has alongside that intelligence. That's what sets him apart from Doom.
Yeah.
And I really like that in this one. And to a similar but less effect in Four Stick. And it's what I'm really hoping to see in First Steps. I think we'll get there eventually. Like, I think he will be the one who has to make logical decisions, but even in the Illuminati, Reed is the sole voice against destroying other universes. Like, he's the one who's like, we have to do it. I ain't gonna be happy in any part of this.
Well, and that's what I like. That internal conflict is something that I don't think we saw enough of in these films. And granted, they were popcorn movies; they came out when they did.
I'm not sure. I'm just
They
not
didn't
sure
get
that they'll
enough
be
time
able
to
do
build
it.
to that, and I do hope that at least with Pedro. Again, I don't want to keep coming back to this new movie because we haven't seen it yet, obviously. But I do get a sense that this is going to be a more mature version of Reed. Both just in the fact that they're later in their lives, but like this is a
Also, it's
Reed
Pedro.
that's seen some shit, right? Like it's been years that they've had their powers, and we're gonna get a little more of that. Like there's a weight to everything, whereas this didn't really feel like it had the same level of consequence. It was just theatrics into big climax, and then it's done.
Yeah, this movie runs incredibly quickly. I mean, runtime rate of 106 minutes. It flies by. It
It
to
does.
its credit, it goes fast, and I like that it goes fast. But with that story, it's like I said, there's not much left there. It is very, very straightforward. You got Johnny being hothead, you got Ben being Ben, and shit gets weird. Like, that's why I think I love the video game so much of this. My main memory of the 2005 video game is honestly the opening level of them in the hospital. But like, this video game is insane. Okay, this video game has Mole Man, it has Diablo, it has Dragon Man, it has Nick Fury, it has Puppet Master. It is wild. And then ultimately, it all comes down to that final scene from the end of the movie.
Yeah.
But it actually sets up the Fantastic Four as these heroes, which I think this movie tries to do, and I think that's where it struggles the most. Is it sets up these people as heroes not because they're being heroes, but because they have powers. I think really, after that opening stuff, the only person who really was this huge hero was Ben.
Yeah.
Like, Ben stopped this dude from killing himself, saved a fire truck that was about to go off it, and yeah, the other three helped him, but not
He's
much.
also the one that chooses to be a hero and sacrifice his own life, like his own way of life, and reverting back to the Thing after being, having his powers reversed or whatever. Which the selflessness there is not something we see from any other character. Like, Ben is the MVP of this movie, hands down, bar none. He's the GOAT. But back to the game for a second.
Also, I do want to say I keep sounding like this game is great. This game is god awful.
Oh, it's terrible. But
Yeah.
I was just very curious about the developer because I'd never heard of this developer before. 7 Studios was the developer that made this. Founded in 1999. All they did were make tie-in games. So they made Legion, the Legend of Excalibur, Defender. Then they got into licensing. So Fantastic Four, Pirates of the Caribbean, Sopranos, Shrek the Third, Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer, Napoleon Dynamite, the George of the Jungle, and The Search for the Secret. A Six Flags tie-in. After that, they were acquired by Activision. They released the much maligned Transformers DJ Hero 2, and then Activision closed the studio.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, I'm looking at this. Oh man, did you ever play The Legend of Jack Sparrow?
No.
That game, that's another one of those games that, like, looking back, I'm like, god awful game. Man, I loved it.
You can probably still play it on Steam.
Maybe.
Because
You
I
can play a
bought
couple of- you can play,
I bought the
Admiral's
Wally
Edge.
game on Steam.
Well, I don't know,
I'm a
2006 might be a little too early for that.
When did no? Steam as a service launched in 2003.
Look, let's see, Pirates of the Caribbean on Steam.
I'm also trying to open
You
Steam
got
right
the
now.
Lego games. You've got Pirates at World's End, and you've got Tides of War.
That's it?
That is it.
Ah, okay.
And like at World's End, I actually don't think I've ever played at World's End. I played Tides of War. Tides of War.
I think I played a bit of it.
Anyways, yeah, this movie. I honestly, I'll give you the plot recap, but it's like 5 minutes. I want to talk about for just a second a couple of these, one particular villain that pops up in this video game, just because I really hope that someday we get an adaptation of this villain.
Is it a
And
Nihilus?
It's not a Nihilus, but Nihilus is fantastic.
A Nihilus would be cool.
No, I want Puppet Master.
So
I think Puppet Master would be such a fantastic villain for a major Fantastic Four movie, and that would be the single most personal superhero movie you ever made.
you have to do that after firmly establishing Alicia as a fan favorite character.
Mm-hmm. And I think
For those who don't know, Alicia is the niece of Puppet Master.
niece, and then obviously eventually the wife of Ben Grimm.
Yeah.
And it's this fantastic story that like the Puppet Master uses clay to create essentially monsters and whatever to attack the Fantastic Four and kidnap Alicia because he wants Alicia back. And they get into some crazy stuff, and there's this fantastic comic in it where despite all of that, because Puppet Master is functionally and essentially Alicia's guardian, Ben asks for her hand in marriage. And he asks Puppet Master, because he's very old school in that way. And you have this wonderful reveal in that comic that Alicia had some of his clay and was controlling him. And I would love to see that story in and not even necessarily MCU canon, but just live action in general. I want them to play with emotions in a very special way with the Fantastic Four, because Fantastic Four have these beautiful emotional moments in ways that others don't. Like, as far as Marvel goes, the Fantastic Four, and I firmly stand by this, are not superheroes, they are explorers. And yeah. I think you see that in this movie. I think this movie is very torn between wanting to make them heroes and wanting to have that be scientists. And the fact of the matter is, they're not. They are explorers. And I think we're going to be getting that in the MCU.
I would say they're scientists, to an extent.
I would say Reed's a scientist. I would say Sue's a scientist. I wouldn't say Johnny or Ben are scientists.
No. I mean, I would say in terms of, like, researchers, I think is probably a better term, because even Johnny and Ben with they are more like research assistants where they're there to support, but they do feel like a research team.
Mm-hmm. So I mean,
delves into the science and the exploration.
That's
and the
why
discovery.
I say exploration, because they do this like awesome thing of like exploring all the universes, and I think we'll eventually go down that route, and that's all theory that we will talk about with First Steps. But yeah, just something I wanted to call out with this. Let's talk about plot. This movie starts with Reed and Ben trying to pitch this idea of this solar storm, or this like space storm, cosmic energy, to a bunch of different people and failing. They got laughed out of NASA. So they're going to this Von Doom Industries to pitch Dr. Victor Von Doom. At least it's not Fantastic with Van Damme. They pitch him on this whole idea. He gives them shit, but ultimately is getting signed. Victor has this great comment of, no matter what Reed's idea is, you give him the money to do it because you know it's going to work. We get some little bit of awkwardness between him and Storm and Johnny and Ben. Turns out everybody knows everybody, and we're just rolling with it. They go up into space. Victor tries to propose to Susan. It's real weird. I don't like this part of the movie at all, of like their relationship, because Susan's very, very clearly not interested. Anyways, all of that, everything goes wrong. Cosmic clouds hit all of them. They try to Victor tries to close the shields to protect himself. Everyone else tries to rescue Ben. It all goes to shit. The storm breaks. Suddenly everyone wakes up in a hospital, and everything's fine. Nothing bad happened. Except something bad did happen. cosmic radiation is now pulsing through them and giving all of them powers. They all find out in really dumb ways. Reed and Susan have... Ben, by the way, best part of this entire movie is Ben Grimm.
Bad shrimp.
This whole scene of him setting them up, fantastic. I love it.
He's the best wingman. The best.
But yeah, we get this whole thing of, I can't look at you. No, you're invisible. Stupid. Reed uses his powers to stretch under the door and unlock it. Johnny uses his fire powers to get it going. Because Johnny is a Johnny. And Ben runs off to it because he's transformed into a large rock creature. We also learned that apparently this is already affecting the stocks of Victor's company. This one incident that happened 2 days ago, like...
Look, you're gonna have a company announce, Q2 financials one day, and then the next day the CEO is diddling kids. Like, it can happen. It's not as likely,
that's more... I said
that seems more realistic than billionaire goes to space and tanks his company. Although, no, Amazon did pretty well after Bezos did his blue
everything
ship thing.
Fucked.
Why are all the billionaires trying to go to space?
Because they're
you got
fucking
Victor
over
Von
the
Doom.
Earth.
You got dumbass with 16 kids or whatever it is. You got Bezos with his bald ass head, looking like Michael Chiklis out here.
No, don't insult Michael Chiklis like that.
Yeah, you're right.
Ben somehow makes it back to Manhattan. Stops the dude from jumping off the side of a bridge. And honestly, one of the funniest lines in this movie. I love that he's like, "You think you got problems? Look at me."
He's such a New Yorker in the
"You know
best
what?
way.
Fair. This all becomes chaos though, and shit breaks out on the bridge. Whether it's Ben's weight, the dude, or the fire truck that fucks a bunch of shit up. Everything goes bad. And the Fantastic Four kind of step in to save the day. We get the horrible scene.
They do the really creepy thing, which we should have
They do the first horrible creepy thing. Johnny Tennant doesn't do shit in this.
Johnny's the one who encourages her to take her clothes off.
Yeah.
Which is weird, because that's her brother. Like...
Look,
weird.
I can't say anything that's not... This scene is creepy and weird.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Avi Arad. I just am blaming Avi Arad because it's easy.
It's just easier. He's still working too, which is kind of crazy.
I hate it. There are no repercussions for when you're rich.
He produced the Uncharted adaptation.
I know.
He probably also produced Madam Web.
Probably. Yeah, and Craven.
He also produced the 2007 film Bratz.
Here's the thing, he's also a producer on Across the Spider-Verse. And he will be a producer on the Zelda movie. But, to make you feel better, he was a producer on Borderlands.
That doesn't make me feel better.
Genuinely, let me read you some of the last things he's worked on since 2017.
I'm looking at it. It's a list.
Ghost in the Shell, Spider-Man Homecoming, Venom...
What the hell is Robo-Sapien?
I'm going to skip the Spider-Man movies. Venom, Let There Be Carnage, Uncharted, Morbius, Borderlands, Venom: The Last Dance, Kraven the Hunter. At least he's on the streak of shit. Anyways, yeah, the media deems them the Fantastic Four, and they do their best to stay hidden and while they're trying to fix themselves until Johnny gets bored and decides to go to a X Games.
X Games, yeah. Event.
Motocross. Motocross is the word I was thinking of. Which used actual professional motocross riders, which I think is cool. And gets bored and gives them all names and stuff. And eventually they're like, okay, I guess we'll just kind of start embracing this, while Reed still tries to figure shit out. Meanwhile, Victor's face is all fucked up. He's losing his company, and he's vain as fuck.
Before we get off of that, when the whole X Games thing ends, he introduces them. there is a crowd of reporters there, and I'm trying to get the information. It matters. So as I ought to do, I watch this and I say, "Hey, what's that? MTV." So in Canada, our version of MTV was called Much Music, and at the time, that still existed. And one of the VJs from that station, like video jockeys, the equivalent to a disc jockey, but for TV and video or whatever, was one of the reporters in that scene. And also, you have a scene that has the son of former Canadian Prime Minister Brian Mulroney in Ben Mulroney. So I'm like, why are all of these Canadian news personalities here? Oh, because they filmed in Vancouver, and they actually used the same some of the same filming locations as the X-Men film, because those were also filmed in Toronto.
That's why
so there's your Canada connection.
Well, that's why they were able to get the Wolverine cameo.
Yeah, because it was while they were shooting The Last Stand.
Something. I think it was X2.
I should still have the list up here. No.
But yeah, because there's the.
No, X2 was 2003. Last Stand was 2006.
Well, because there was the prank, right, where it was
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But that would have been from the Spider-Man 2 set.
Yeah, I don't remember. I remember that.
So Spider-Man 2 was 2004. Fantastic Four was 2005.
Look, I just remember that there was like
2006.
talks of like basically all of them just kind of fucking with each other,
doing a crossover.
They could. Well, no, I'm talking like behind the scenes that just kind of.
Oh yeah.
Each other.
Yeah.
Because it was funny. Anyways, Reed comes up with a plan to recreate the storm and use it to reverse their conditions. Johnny doesn't wanna. He wants to use the powers. Victor over there being creepy and weird. Eventually, Victor's like, okay, I'm going bad. I'm going to smash this case, put on this helmet, and also, I think I'm just going to go kill those other 4 people because they pissed me off and made me ugly. That's essentially his reasoning here. To do that, though, he can't touch Reed without first getting rid of Ben, so he manipulates Ben incredibly easily.
I mean, yeah.
Also, there's
he's also not wrong, right? Like, it's very easy when you're using the truth to manipulate people. Look at your president. Although that's not very true.
He's not using the truth.
Some of it is. He used a lot of hidden truths that people don't really want to admit. Woke is dead, Griffin.
Yeah, but he's gone so far past truth at this point.
No, I know.
Let me tell you about misinformation. There's a lot of it right now. Anyways,
yeah. We'll not dwell on that.
There's also a whole subplot in here of Ben getting ditched by his former fiance and then meeting Alicia. But we're kind of just going to power through it because it's like maybe 5 minutes of this film. And frankly, I'm tired.
There's only like 2 scenes with his ex.
There's 2 scenes with his ex and like 3 scenes with Alicia.
Yeah.
Anyways,
his ex was that's what it is. She was on The Walking Dead. Master from.
Ben walks out on Reed and whatnot because he thinks Reed is just dating Sue and not actually working on the device. This caused Reed to go crazy and like really push himself to finish the device. He tests it on himself. It goes poorly, like you would probably expect it to do, like any sane human being. What the fuck, Reed? Although I will say this is that perfect case of Reed's empathy for his friend. It's his biggest regret. Eventually, Victor's like, hey, yo, it works. Ben, come back. Puts Ben in it and uses his zappy powers now to blast a bunch more power into the storm to make it work properly.
That's how that works.
And then also somewhere in all of this, freezes Reed using presumably liquid nitrogen, but he calls it a super cooling unit. And fires a heat-seeking missile to kill Johnny, and does something to try to kill Susan. I forget what. Anyways, he's getting pretty close to killing everyone. Ben decides to transform himself back into the thing by using the machine. They all fight him. They beat the ever-loving shit out of Doom. They have some bits here of go supernova, but he wasn't supposed to. when Johnny wasn't supposed to. They essentially make Doom really, really hot, and then douse him with a fire hydrant to cool him down and freeze him, which I think is a very fun way to finish a comic book fight. You don't have to just punch the other person into submission, that you can do something unique. Kind of reminds me of pretty much any time that Spider-Man has fought Sandman.
Yeah. Turn him to glass.
Yeah. Or make him wet and he kind of just gets
mucky. It's very moist.
Oh, man. I would love to see Sandman in the MCU, but like, make it the Sandman we know now, who's like kind of just over being a criminal and just kind of wants to live his life. That'd be fun.
It would be, but again, like I'm looking at Doomsday Secret Wars as a way for them to solve things and the more stories that they can tell with Spider-Man. Like knowing that the Brand New Day is going to be, a more street level story seems kind of odd for a Spider-Man that's been to space, fought purple aliens, and disappeared for 5 years.
Okay, you say that, but
that's
it's also every Spider-Man comic ever. Right? Like, he does all these things and then also is a street level.
Yeah, I suppose.
Also, would love to get a proper rendition of the Rhino. Just saying.
I want Kraven's Last Hunt, personally, but that's me.
Look, I really love Rhino in particular because, like, especially where we're at now with Rhino, he's cooled down a lot and is like, he'll actually help Spidey. He is homies. He is best fucking friends with Miles Morales for some reason.
Honest to God, Paul Giamatti would have made a great voice actor for a CG Rhino.
That or, like, it's just his face in the big Rhino.
Yeah, just mocap, and then they do big
like
monster Rhino things with it.
There's this, in, like, one of the recent Miles Morales comics, there's this great moment of, like, him putting together, like, a team to fight these other villains. And he calls on the Rhino to help them out. And it's fucking great. Anyways, they beat him. They win. We get a little bit of an epilogue here of Ben being chill about being the Thing again. And officially being in a relationship with Alicia. The team decides to actually be superheroes. Reed pursue. And Doom gets shipped back to Latveria.
Which doesn't really play into the plot of this or the sequel at all.
At all. You'd think it would in the sequel, but nope.
You'd think, but it doesn't.
Just somehow Latveria was able to heal him? But even then, that's not even really the case.
No, they didn't heal him. He was all mucked up until blast him with cosmic rays again.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, these movies have a lot of issues, but it was still really fun to go back to them.
Apparently, the CG or like the makeup they did for the sequel was so bad that Marvel wouldn't let them show his face.
Yeah, that makes sense. But anyways, folks, that is...
On that note...
there's a lot of great things from Fantastic Four to come. Hopefully this first steps is fantastic.
We'll find out in short order.
Shortly.
And I don't know. Are you just going to like drop this randomly so that it comes up for that movie? Or should we put some sort of... Hey,
I'm going to drop this out randomly.
We've now seen the movie.
I'm going to set this out randomly right now.
Perfect. As we ought to do.
Everybody, thank you very much for listening. Of course, if you enjoyed this, please go check out our other stuff. Check out that YouTube channel. That is the best place to keep up with us at the moment. Really, in general, that's the best place to keep up with us. That's the place that I actually upload things on time. Go check that out. Check out our other things. We will see y'all next time. But until then, be good to each other and have a magical day.
Excelsior.